Hey, Evan.
What?
Why is a Jedi Knight never lonely?
Why?
Because the Force is always with him. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Engage, a family gaming podcast. This is episode 132, and I am your host, Stephen Duetzmann, as always. This is the official video game and board game podcast for EngageFamilyGaming.com. It's a website where parents like myself and my co-hosts come together to give parents and families the information they need to get their family game on. This week, a little interesting. Right now, I'm alone, just doing a little intro, and then I will be bringing on one Gamerleaf from Gamerleaf Go and Getting Geeky with Gamerleaf. I interview him and his daughter about the podcast that they run and how long they've been doing it, etc. It was super cute. Thought we would highlight another content creator out on the web because it's not just me out there. Even though I like to pretend like it is. So, before we get too much farther into things, I do want to take a moment to thank you for listening. We hope your games have been great. I'll tell you what, I've been playing some awesome stuff. And we'll be talking about that next week on the video game podcast. So, but in the meantime, I would love it if you would help make our show more interactive. So please feel free to reach out to us on social media or to email me at editor@engagefamilygaming.com with any comments, questions, or topic suggestions. Also, those of you who are Facebook inclined, you also will be interested to know that there is a dedicated Facebook page for the podcast. You'll know by just typing Engage, a family gaming podcast, into the search field on Facebook, and you will get it. That is a podcast specific Facebook page. Specifically, you're going to see our podcast. You're going to see some curation where our man behind the curtain goes and finds some other shows that are worth sharing. Also, he's going to go crazy with the memes. He's been wanting me to let him unleash his memedom all over our main Facebook page, and I've been like, nah, bro. We got to keep things a little bit simpler. This is going to be all about the memes. So if you want to hear funny stuff or see funny stuff, by all means, that's going to be a great follow. It's just, so head on over there, give it a like. We could use all the likes we can get, and it's just another way to find out some of the content around the web that we find awesome. So thank you very much. And without further ado, here is the Gamerleaf family. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Engage, a family gaming podcast. This is episode 132, as I told you before, and I have two special guests. I have the Gamerleaf himself, Blake, who runs GamerleafGo.com and is the host of the podcast Getting Geeky with Gamerleaf, which is 135 episodes old. Congratulations on that. But more importantly, I believe, we have Princess Leaf, who is his daughter, who is here to talk to us about largely whatever she wants once we get the business stuff out of the way. So how are the two of you doing?
Good.
Not too bad.
Good. So let's just get the basic stuff. Blake, I'm guessing that a good portion of my audience does not know who you are, and that is largely a guess. For all I know, they could all listen to your show. But indulge me. What is your show about?
Okay, well, it's my journey, one man's journey, as the introduction says or whatnot. It's one man's journey to get geeky and help other people get geeky. We do board games. Initially, when we started off, I was just doing, we wanted to review games with my family or whatnot, but ended up getting into the whole Kickstarter craze where I interview people, and then even wanted to go even more than that, where me and my family do like role-playing adventures. But I went a little bit too hog wild on the interviews, and we have some health issues in my family and whatnot, so we're not able to bring stuff to the table as much. So mainly I interview Kickstarter creators, and then I review games with my family as well.
He also talks about games that are on Kickstarter.com.
Okay. I have noticed that. And so do we. So I suspect we'll be talking about some of those in a little bit. So about how long have you been doing this?
Just what was it? I want to say I'd have to look back, but I want to say it's like 5 days short of a year. Well, no, 5 days over a year or something.
Wow.
Just recently.
That is an impressive amount of content for a year. 135 episodes is. Do you have like a set schedule, or do you just churn stuff out as quickly as you possibly can?
Well, yeah, well initially we had a schedule, but what do you call it? Let's see. I want to say August. In August, I decided to go to 3 episodes a week, at least 3 episodes a week, where I would do Mondays would be our role playing games, which we haven't done as much as I would like, but and then Wednesdays a wish list Wednesday kind of changed into Kickstarter creation Wednesday, where I interview people, and then if we're able to bring reviews, I think we've only done like 20 or 21. It's Family Fun Day Friday, where me and my kids review games, and then I
Okay.
went a little bit hog wild on the interviewing. So if I do more than the one interview or two interviews a week, I just upload them or whatnot. So sometimes I have 5 to 6 episodes per week.
And we talk about on Friday about the games that we play, like the game with the ventures. I forgot what it's called.
You might be talking about our Monday game, but we haven't played it for a while. Too Many Bones, which was a role playing game.
Okay. That's interesting. Well, we'll certainly talk about that. So that is a whole lot of content. So why do you do it? Right? Because, neither of us do this full time. We both do other stuff. So all of my listeners know that this is a labor of love for me that largely was fed by being a good idea my wife had. Why do you do this?
Well, initially I wanted to do it full time so I could spend more time, be at home full time with my wife having some health issues as well, my son with autism
Sure.
and whatnot, and just kind of fell in love with it. Growing up in high school and whatnot, I kind of forgot of it going through high school, but I always wanted to be a radio show host or whatnot.
Okay. Fair enough. I will admit it is a goal of mine to take it full time as well. So I can appreciate that. Hopefully, we can help each other get there. So let's. So man, I'm still having trouble wrapping my mind around the fact that you've done 135 episodes in 1 year. That's man. You're kicking me in the pants there, Blake. So I see, well, because I looked at your YouTube channel, which, by the way, folks, you can get there. Just look up Gamerleaf on the YouTubes. It's not that hard. And so you have done. You and I have interviewed some of the same folks, at least in recent months. So what's your so you obviously have a pretty big focus on Kickstarter, and I can appreciate that. I try and give them some love too. What attracted you to Kickstarter as far as interviewing those folks and trying to help promote their games?
Well, my wife, she initially, well, maybe I should go back to my origin story a little bit if that's
Sure.
okay, really quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so my wife was big into games. Well, initially before I knew what tabletop was today, I was big into the Unos, and I was collecting all kinds of different Unos, which give you special powers or whatnot. I'd have to look through my collection. It's quite big. But then my wife was playing games here and there, and she'd buy a couple games here and there, and got into playing like Parade and Splendor, and she found Kickstarter and back games here and there, and then like
Okay.
not this last holiday season, but the one prior, I think. What was it? What year was it? Do you remember?
I think 2017
No.
or 16.
Yeah, 16. I want to say 2016. I watched a Rodney Smith video of Watch It Played of Blood Rage and thought, well, that looks like a cool game. And then I hate reading rule books, so I watched the video and then played it with my son, who is known as Barbarian Leaf on the podcast. He'll be 10 in September. We sat down and played that and just fell in love. It was like Christmas all over with the whole gaming and whatnot. And then I wanted to start the podcast clear back then, like that January of last year. January of last year, but ended up pushing it out just due to, I guess, procrastination and kind of being scared. Didn't start till May or whatnot. And then just with Kickstarter, my wife's always finding new games on there and stuff, and so I kind of decided that was a pretty cool thing, and so wanted to help them get a lot of love and find out other people find out about new games and whatnot. I guess to answer your question a long way.
Hey, listen. Anybody that listens to my podcast knows I like listen to the long answer, so don't you worry about that. So who is the I don't want to ask anybody's favorite, but who is the interview that you were the most hyped to get an opportunity to do? Because I mean, you have interviewed a lot of folks, but one of them has to stand out as an interview that you were like, there is no way I was expecting to be able to get this interview. That there's no way I thought these people would talk to me. Tell me about that. Is there anybody that kind of stands out?
Oh, I think there's two.
Sure.
The most recent was Jamie Stegmeyer. I had him on about a month. Well, I ended up interviewing him about a month ago. I released that to my subscribers, my email subscribers, a week before, but I just barely had him on the podcast. It might have been this last week. Like I said, well, I don't know if I said, but it kind of all runs together, so I get sidetracked on when they get released and whatnot.
All right.
So he was my first one.
He was the first. Okay. And how'd that go?
Well, not the first. He was my most recent.
Sure. And how'd that go?
I thought it went pretty good. I was really worried because my other one that I was pretty hyped about was with Michael Coe of Gamelin Games, and even though I had never played neither of his games, actually, unfortunately, I'd never played neither of their games, but I totally was like a fanboy interviewing Michael Coe, and I was stuttering all over my words, and I thought I would be doing the same with Jamie, but I didn't, fortunately.
Good. Always good to not to not screw that stuff up. So
yeah, for sure. And Princess, just so you know, Princess Leaf will be right back. So.
Okay. That's fine. We know that it's tough working with kids, so she can come in and out as she pleases. So you said that you try to do 3 podcasts, 3 episodes a week, one being focused on your tabletop adventures, one being about Kickstarter, and one being just kind of talking about the games that you have played. Tell me about this role-playing adventures. Are you doing like a Critical Role kind of, recording your role-playing sessions, or are you kind of getting together and kind of debriefing about your role-playing sessions and telling stories? Or tell me about how that works. What's your format?
Well, kind of what it was, or what it has been, is pretty much just a story of how it goes down. Like, we'll play and then we'll do the kind of telling the story of how the role-playing went down or whatnot, like the story of our adventure, I guess. Initially, when I did it, I was the one writing the stories, and I'd have the kids doing they'd have different parts or whatnot. And then the last couple, I want to say so when we started season 2 of that, just recently, I want to say there maybe 2, maybe 3 episodes. My wife, who is actually an author as well, she ended up writing them. So I think the stories turned out a lot better, but due to health problems and whatnot, we haven't been able to get that to the table for quite some time.
Okay. Well, I mean, role-playing sessions like that are tough. We've been trying to get the same thing off the ground. And when you got kids in the house, and everybody's got work, and there's 47 podcasts a week that you got to record and edit, I can imagine that would get in the way of, playing some good old Dungeons and Dragons or other tabletop games, because those are a time commitment. I mean, that's something that a lot of folks that play those games will often say, is that it's really tough to get them played. So I am, excuse me, no judgment here on not being able to get that to the table. What game do you guys normally play?
When we do that, it's Too Many Bones by Chip Theory Games. It was on Kickstarter. I don't even remember how long ago. I think we ended up getting it last year at some point. But yeah, it's Too Many Bones.
Too Many Bones. I'm looking it up on Board Game Geek right now. So is it more of a story? Is this why don't I take a moment and read the prepackaged text, as it were, from Board Game Geek. So for those interested in what they play, and this is right from Board Game Geek, it says, Too Many Bones comes loaded for bear by breaking into a new genre, the Dice Builder RPG. This game takes everything you think you know about dice rolling and turns it on its head. Dripping with strategy, this fantasy-based RPG puts you in the skin of a new race and takes you on an adventure to the Northern Territories to root out and defeat the growing enemy forces and of course the infamous baddie responsible. I kind of dig that. And so it's lots of dice rolling. Did you have to put the stickers on those dice? My Lord.
I don't think so.
Okay, well that's good.
No, I don't think so.
Because that would have.
I'd have to ask my wife. If we did, she would have been the one doing it.
Yeah, the dice, the stickers on the dice is that is my wife's thing because she's a perfectionist, and if I screwed up the dice, I would not live to see the start of the game. So I think that many dice would have. It would have gone poorly. But that looks really rad. So it ends up playing out like a role-playing game, just based on, like, do you kind of use?
Yeah, it's a story, and instead of like a book or whatnot. Well, they have rule books and whatnot, but there's cards, like event cards, and it gives you like do you at the party? This is what will happen. Do you choose A or B, and then it tells you if you win A or B, what your rewards are or consequences, I guess.
Sure. Okay. Sounds kind of neat. So my next question, and this is, so onto the Kickstarters again. Like how many Kickstarters do you talk about a week? Like I'm looking at the show notes for episode 135 just for sake of picking one, and I see that you talk about, let's see, like 10. I mean, you go through like 10 Kickstarters. So is that like every Kickstarter that was launched that week?
Oh, no. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Cause like, I want to say this last Tuesday, either this last Tuesday or the one before, there was 20, let alone 29 games that launched in the tabletop field. So yeah, I know I go through and contact the creators or whatnot and work something out with them in order to get their game talked about or whatnot.
So how do you choose?
Let's see. It's got to be for the most part. They're either family friendly. I know there's been a couple that are not necessarily. They're like 13 and above or whatnot, but yeah, they got to be family friendly. And then I do just full disclosure. When I didn't at first, but full disclosure, I do charge for our Kickstarter corners or whatnot. I have a couple different packages or whatnot.
Okay,
and so. Yeah, just trying to help people out a little bit, but also trying to supplement a little bit for us.
Sure, that's fine. So, and do you find that the creators are generally pretty okay with that? Do you get a good reception?
Yeah, I was actually surprised when we started charging or whatnot, which was within the last couple months. I don't remember, 3 or 4 months ago. I was surprised. I thought we'd have to take a cut in how many people we had.
All right. Well, I mean, marketing budgets are marketing budgets. Princess Leaf. Now, Princess Leaf, what do you think about the fact that your dad is like a big time content creator on the internet?
It's fun because I get to listen to it.
Oh yeah. Okay. That's, you know what? I don't think any of my kids enjoy listening to my show. So Blake, you got you're either doing all right or you pay her very well. So, Princess Leaf. So obviously this means you get to play more games than you probably would have been able to otherwise, right?
Yeah, usually.
And that's got to be the worst, right? Just
no.
All right.
It's fun.
So, obviously your dad's been doing this for like a year. So in the last year or so, like you guys are you playing more games now than you were beforehand or?
Yeah.
And that's cool. Mm-hmm. What is your favorite game of all time?
The Garden of the Month, the gnome game we played a week ago.
Oh, the Garden of the Month.
Yeah, Garden of the Month, Gnome Smashing Fun.
It's actually called Yard of the Month, Gnome Smashing Fun. Gnome Smashing Fun. It's currently on Kickstarter. I was unaware that this had recently become her favorite.
Wow. You should send that to them so they can put that badge on their Kickstarter. So Yard of the Month. I've seen this one floating around. Princess, tell me, what's this game all about? So I'm guessing there's gnomes.
It's where you are supposed to grow 5 or 10. If you want the short one, you grow 5, or if you want the long one, you grow 10. And there are different gnomes, the evil ones and the nice ones who guard from your flowers from the weeds, and the bad gnomes, and there are also weeds. And if you have like a weed and a bad gnome in the same place, when like if you're trying to grow a flower, you can't until you get rid of them.
Okay.
And you're supposed to get rid of the weeds with gardening tools, and you can get rid of either of the gnomes with a hammer.
Okay. And so why is it your favorite game?
Because it has pretty flowers.
Hey.
And I'm big onto gardening, because when we move to our new house, when we get a garden, Mom's going to teach us how to garden.
Well, that is awesome. This is good practice then. So you should play a whole lot of Yard of the Month so you can practice and be ready for when your mom teaches you how to do it for real. So, all right. So we're talking within the last 2 weeks, your favorite game of all time has been replaced. So you've got to remember the game that was your favorite before that.
This is the one I like the most. Okay. I don't have any other favorites.
What about before?
Oh, I like the Mario Monopoly. They're better than normal Monopoly.
Monopoly Gamer? The Gamer Edition?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you know what? My kids like that one too. Who do you play as?
Me and my sister usually fight who gets to be the girl, because there's only one.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing, right? There are other girls. I mean, they could put Daisy in there too, or maybe Rosalina.
Yeah, they have little packets for other characters. Yeah. Mom wants to get Boo.
Oh, who does she want to get?
For the normal one. Mom wants to get the normal Boo for the normal Monopoly one.
Boo is pretty fun. Is that your mom's favorite character in the Mario universe?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And also Rosalina.
I mean, Rosalina is pretty awesome. I'm a big fan of her. I play her in Smash. Do you guys play? Have you guys ever played Smash Brothers?
Yeah, we had it on the Wii, but then my older brother ruined it, and we might get one for a Switch later.
Ooh, well, Smash is coming for the Switch. And man, is it going to be all right? I'm going to be seeing it at E3, so I'll be sure to tell your dad all about it. Hopefully Rosalina will be in it, because she's a fan favorite. Yeah, it'd be nice if they had some more characters that you guys could play as in that Mario in the Monopoly Gamer. Have you guys played the Mario Kart one yet?
Yeah. We haven't reviewed it though.
Well, I mean, you guys talk about what, like 57 games on every Kickstarter episode? I mean, how do you have the time?
We don't know. My dad just makes it for time. And sometimes I get to make episodes by myself.
Oh, yeah?
Once in a while.
Okay, so now I've got to hear about that. So how do you prepare for doing an episode all by yourself?
I just write a script, usually.
Yeah? Okay. And what do you talk about?
Usually just Kickstarter games.
Okay. So, and do you just kind of kick your dad out of the room and sit down in front of a microphone, or does your dad kind of help you through it, or what do you do?
He just sits there sometimes to help me if one of the words are too hard.
I think she tried to boot me one time. She tried to make a birthday episode for me this last October, but it ended up, for some reason, the recording didn't work out. And she's teased on the podcast that she's going to be making one in June sometime for her birthday.
I will be.
All right. Well, I can't wait to listen to that one. Because that just sounds, that sounds like it'd be a whole lot of fun. I mean, there aren't too many kids that do board game podcasting all by themselves, so I would find that pretty fun. Can't wait to hear that. Make sure your dad tells me all about it. Okay. So, how often do you guys ever podcast, like as a whole family?
Not usually.
Just
usually we take turns. Me, Barbarian Leaf, sometimes Bat Leaf, also known as Queen Leaf, because she keeps changing her name. Usually podcasts with her dad. Sometimes Wizard Leaf, and Snack Leaf doesn't usually do it, but Lady Leaf barely does it because she has health problems.
Okay. So how many?
But yeah, so sometimes we've sat down with.
No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Sometimes we've sat down with me, and then let's see, Princess Leaf, who will be 11 in June, and then Barbarian Leaf, who will be 10 in September, and then Little Leaf, well, whatever she's going by at the time, Little Leaf, who will be 5 in December. Sometimes they all three will sit down with me.
Well, it's like pro wrestling personas, you know what I mean? You just got to change it. Sometimes she's a face, sometimes she's a heel. You just kind of roll with it. I get it. And being 5, you can't really, just can't stick to one persona. I get it. So that's a whole lot of Leafs. No wonder you don't have time for role playing games, because there's like a million of you. So I think, that's all the time we have today. So, Blake, now's your opportunity to plug your stuff. So tell my audience let's say they're interested in hearing more about Getting Geeky with Gamerleaf. What is the best way for them to do so?
Probably the best way is, for some reason, iTunes has it set up on any of your podcast catchers or iTunes. You can go ahead and search Getting Geeky with Gamerleaf. For some reason, it's all one word. Or you can just go to the website, which is gamerleafgo.com, kind of like Pokemon Go, but it's gamerleafgo.com.
Fair enough. So folks, they have a newsletter. And also a YouTube channel, which I have found, and I just clicked the subscribe button, because I don't know why I hadn't done that before. So there you go. I just gave you +1 sub. And then literally just search Gamerleaf in the YouTube search box. It's not that hard, and you'll know that it's there, because you will see their Podbean podcast feed. So that's another way to look at it. If you prefer to listen to your stuff on the YouTubes, maybe while you're at work, I can't necessarily officially recommend that, but if it happens, they can't write me up for it. So Blake and Princess Leaf, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys coming on my show today. I have it on good authority that I will be on your show soon. So you'll probably hear me then. But for those of you listening that are my regular subscribers, I really do appreciate you being here. I hope you enjoyed listening as much as the three of us enjoyed recording it. I have one ask for you today. And so I stand here with hat in hand asking you to do me one favor. If every one of you took a moment and recommended this podcast to one other person that you thought might be interested. Maybe they don't listen to podcasts, and maybe you think this would be a great way for them to get into it. Maybe they're a podcast fiend and you just want to give them one more thing that they can use up an hour or two of their time every week. Please, if every one of you will just pass it along to one person, however you so choose, that would be a great deal of help to me. Bigger audience means bigger things. And I just want to do this for a whole lot more time. So thank you very much for your help. Until next time, we're going to talk about video games. Specifically, the man behind the curtain and I are going to give our E3 predictions as I get ready to head on out to LA. So until next time, folks, this is Steven and my special guests, the Gamerleaf family. And I want you to make sure that you get your family game on. We'll see y'all next week. Bye.
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 Thank you for listening to Engage, a family gaming podcast.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Tune in next week.